what's your second bit
Well,
of
my
news?
second bit of news, and it's nearly a week old, this bit of news,
Sure,
but
yeah.
I think it's worth talking about. Quentin Tarantino. I've written here in my notes, Quentin Tarantino says some Quentin Tarantino stuff.
Because he's selling a book.
Yeah, because he's selling a book. He's got his book about movie making or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino believes the Marvelization of Hollywood killed the movie
You said
stars.
Quentin Tino. Sorry, go on.
No, I didn't. That's how you do it, James. You have a bit of confidence in yourself and you just go, nah. Tarantino went on Tom Segura's podcast,
I
Two
listened
Bears,
to
One
it,
Cave.
the whole thing, yeah.
And Tarantino mourned the idea that there are no real movie stars thanks to the Marvelization of Hollywood. So the quote is, part of the Marvelization of Hollywood is, I'm not going to do the voice, but I could.
Okay.
You have no, I'm not going to do it. You have all these actors who have become famous playing these characters, but they're not movie stars, right? Tarantino asks. Captain America is the star, or Thor is the star. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that. I think that's been said a zillion times.
Anthony Mackie said it a few years ago.
He did. He said
When he was doing Marvel movies.
yeah, he
by
said
the way,
you are making movies now for 16-year-old boys in China. That's what he said specifically. But how do you feel about this statement before we get into the backlash from
Sure,
it?
yeah.
I feel like he is sort of right and he's sort of wrong.
There's absolutely an element of truth to that where
Yeah.
IP is the star of something.
Yeah, but also, and speaking of Anthony Mackie, I'm excited to see Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson Captain America in the next Captain America.
Yeah.
But
You don't want to see that one where he's a robot and it's a Netflix movie or whatever? He's a robot soldier?
maybe I already did say that.
Yeah, maybe you did. There's a bit where he's got transparent skin and the guy's like, you're a robot. And he's like, oh, no, I'm a robot.
I didn't say. I also didn't say that. But if Marvel said, "Hey, we're bringing back Steve Rogers Captain America," and it's not going to be Chris Evans, it's going to be somebody else, I'd be like, "Oh, I don't know about that."
Yeah, I guess
so. Yes,
So it's a combination.
Yeah,
of
so
two,
Captain America is the iconic character, but I think Chris Evans, at least for the now and the foreseeable future, knocked that character out of the park so well that I think I would not be that interested in seeing another Captain America movie without him in it.
And I think they know that also.
I think if Chris Evans was an action star in the 80s, I think he probably would be, of that level.
I think there are exceptions to this rule. Maybe not one of the people who spoke out, which we will talk to.
Sure.
But like Chris Evans, I think, is a movie star outside of Captain America. I think Chris Hemsworth, even though his movies don't do incredibly well necessarily outside of Marvel, I think he is a movie star.
Right,
Brie Larson is a movie star. But I feel like there's actors in the MCU which were stars, which then they brought in, like Harrison Ford, for example, for joining. But I think there's also people that are in the MCU, and it's just like, this is, for now at least, this is who they are.
Yeah, right. But I also think it's less to do with the Marvelization. I mean, it is partly.
And when he says Marvel, he means like, he doesn't just mean specifically. Well, yes, specifically Marvel, but also just the idea of this kind of
franchising.
Yeah, like your Star Wars and DC or whatever.
But I feel also it's the idea behind the reason Chris Evans would have been a huge star in the 80s is because your options were go see him at the movies or watch him on TV when the movie went to TV.
Yeah.
But now there are so many options. A Schwarzenegger or a Stallone or something like that back in the 80s, you would see everything they did because it was just at the movies.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not following everything Chris Evans does because some of it is at the movies and some of it is
Defending Jacob,
which I would have to buy another streaming service.
It's good.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not.
Just wait till Disney and Apple merge, and then you'll have it.
Then I'll have it. That's true. Well, I might have it. Probably have to purchase as an additional package.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I got that email this week from Disney Plus. They're like, we're doubling the prices, basically.
And you're an idiot.
I'm an idiot. You specifically.
So rude, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Marvelization is true, but it's also there are so many more options now, and you just can't get to everything,
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
But there was backlash. I was trying to bring it up, but I think you have it there.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of backlash. And look, let me preface this by saying that it's probably we think it's all like Sunshine and Roses being a Marvel star. But I
think it'd be a lot of that would be awful. To be honest.
will see. That's the thing. Like, if you're a Marvel star, you are under the pump all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you've always got to be fit, like super fit, just in case they need you for a cameo.
Or if somebody just takes a photo of you at the beach.
Well, exactly.
Because they'll get the photo of you where you're ripped in the movie and
That's
you're
right.
dehydrated, and they'll be like, now you're fat. And that would be the
Exactly,
headline.
that's right.
This guy's fat now.
Chris Fatsworth, they'd say.
Fatsworth.
Fatsworth.
Yeah.
Fat Chris Evans, they'd say.
Yeah.
Etc.
Yeah.
You're probably constantly like going in and doing meetings with Marvel where they're like, oh, what's the next step for this character? Blah, blah, blah kind of thing. You're doing charity stuff. You're visiting sick kids in hospital. You're doing what a bloody chore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. And you're also always on in the sense that like, even when you're doing, if you're doing interviews for a new project that has nothing to do with Marvel, people will be asking you Marvel questions.
100%.
And every day,
even if you've quit.
Yes, and every day you'd just be living your life, and a little kid would come up to you and be like, "Excuse me, would you win in a fight?
Are you Fatsworth?
Are you Fatsworth? And would you win in a fight against Black Widow?" And you'd have to be like, what does this kid want?"
I'd kill Black Widow.
That's right. I'd snap her neck.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Push her off that cliff.
Yeah, but I think they're being pretty clever in their casting. It was where, as of yet, and there's probably an exception I'm not thinking of, there's nobody who's done something really outrageous as a Marvel star yet.
Right,
I just want to preface that by saying, because someone will come back in a few years where something will happen. But I feel like with DC, there's been a number of actors where you're like, okay,
yeah. But Simu Liu of the movie Shang-Chi.
Yes.
The title role. He is in fact.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. It was good fun. I still think it peaked at the bus fight, but
there was a bit at the end when they fought in a big grey pit, and I didn't really like that too much. Yeah.
But he tweeted, "If the only gatekeepers to movie stardom came from Tarantino and Scorsese, I would never have had the opportunity to lead a $400 million plus movie. I'm in awe of their filmmaking genius. They are transcendent auteurs, but they don't get to point their nose at me or anyone." I don't know what that means. Second tweet, "No movie studio is or ever will be perfect, but I'm proud to work with one that has made sustained efforts to improve diversity on screen by creating heroes that empower and inspire people of all communities everywhere. I love the Golden Age too, but it was wide as hell." That's true.
Yeah, that's not incorrect.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a shot at him in particular. And I think also like, and for now, I would say that he's not, this sounds like an insult, and I guess it is, but he's not like a movie star yet. Like that's what he's known for now.
Right.
And I don't think it was a shot at him in particular either to be like, you're not a real movie star.
Yeah.
But I think they're a level, like he's not Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, and what I think is interesting about this particular statement is because Scorsese and Tarantino are maybe the two worst people to like level this accusation at. Like whatever you think, like, okay, Scorsese's just a nice little old man as far as I can tell. And, Tarantino has had his problems. He said the N-word too many times on screen than a white man should, which is 0 times. You should say it 0 times. And maybe he tried to get Uma Thurman killed that time.
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did that. But a lot of people don't know this about Tarantino, but he loves movies. But also, a second thing that maybe fewer people know about Tarantino
is that he hates movies.
He hates movies secretly. In the 90s, he saw a bunch of Hong Kong movies, like contemporary movies, that he loved so much that he went to Miramax, which is his distributor at the time, and he set up a separate company called Rolling Thunder Films, which was exclusively for finding Hong Kong movies in like Asian cinema and getting it a wider distribution in North America. And one of the movies that he saw, which he loved so much that apparently he cried.
Was Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it was a movie called Chungking Express, and one of the stars of that movie is Tony Leung, who is in Shang-Chi. He's the Mandarin in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
So that's there's no guarantee that if Tarantino didn't do that Tony Leung wouldn't have been in this anyway.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But,
certainly would have helped.
It's interesting that he's in the middle of that Venn diagram.
I think also, and again, like you mentioned about, of course, Tarantino has had his problems because he tried to kill Uma Thurman that time. Allegedly and all these other things. But if you look at like a lot of the casting, like he put Pam Grier in the like lead of a movie. Straight after Pulp Fiction.
Because he thought she had like a raw deal in Hollywood.
Yeah,
she
exactly.
Just did those blaxploitation movies.
I think, he's I think they've both done like, I can't remember the name of the movie, but didn't Scorsese unearth some bizarre like thought long gone foreign film?
Oh, he's done that. Yeah, I mean, he has the World Cinema Project, which has sort of restored foreign films and tries to get them out to a wider audience. But in the 90s also, he had a movie called Kundun, which was it's about the Dalai Lama in like the one from like the 50s, like the 30s, 50s era.
Yeah.
And it's about Tibet, and it has an all Tibetan cast, and he made it for Disney. But then who was the CEO of Disney in the 90s? Michael Eisner. Yeah. Michael Eisner didn't like the movie, and he wanted to open up a Disneyland in China. So he sent Henry Kissinger in to talk to China, like the Henry Kissinger, former Secretary of State, still alive somehow.
He dropped his glasses in the toilet.
He dropped his glasses in the toilet that time. And basically,
look it up.
So he sent him in to negotiate with China, and China were basically like, "We don't like this, because it shows like Chinese atrocities towards Tibetans." And so Kissinger came back and was like, "You should bury this." Yeah. And so they just didn't advertise it and what have you, and it just sank.
Yeah.
You can watch it. You can't watch it on Disney Plus.
What? No way, really?
Yeah, you can't watch it on Disney Plus. You can watch it on Foxtel in Australia. It's on Foxtel now.
Well, I will
You're not
download
going to
the Foxtel app, Mason.
I've seen that, oddly. I saw it years ago.
Foxtel app.
No, I've never seen that.
Where
but
did
I've
you
seen
see it?
Must have been on the telly.
You didn't think of 7 Years in Tibet with Brad Pitt?
No, but that was slightly earlier, and apparently China didn't like that
didn't
either.
like that one either. Yeah, so there you go.
But anyway.
Wow, that's a lot going on there.
A lot going on.
But yeah, I think though he's right in terms of like, Disney has like they've done some casting and they have made strides in movies for representation. I think it's also a very calculated equation of like this will get a certain number of people in, et cetera, and so forth. I think that is definitely a factor. But look, that Disney, every time they release a new movie, they have the first openly gay character or whatever, and that cannot be taken away from them. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Mason, I see both sides.
It's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people like they get hung up on one side or the other, but I see both sides, and that makes me above everything else. Wow. I can take a step back and go, can everyone chill out?
That's just like your stance on nuclear holocaust versus racism. You can see both sides.
No, I said I see them, but they're both bad though.
Yeah.
You're clear. You got a little bit here as well.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you got it. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Mason's eating a chocolate eclair.
I'm eating chocolate eclair. That's true.
All right.
But I mean, Simu Liu is right in that Hollywood is pretty white.
Completely. Yeah. I see both sides.
I know you do.